Welcome back to the Marching to Madness College Basketball Podcast, where we have Xavier head basketball coach Sean Miller here this afternoon. The Musketeers are 19-5 overall. They're tied for first in the Big East with the Marquette at 11-2. Coach Miller's second run here at Xavier, he was 120-47 in his initial campaign, which was 5 years, where he had one Atlantic 10 tournament championship and in 3 regular season titles. Coach, thank you for joining me.
My pleasure. Glad to be on.
With the talented transfers and then so much quality experience on this team, talk about the motivation that you have seen really since you and your staff put the roster together.
Well, we haven't, as a program, been to the NCAA tournament in 4 years. And prior to that, Xavier, under a number of different coaches, I was one of them. Coach Chris Mack was another one. We went to 16 of 18 NCAA tournaments. And that's obviously holds great company, to be able to make the NCAA tournament 16 of 18 years is quite a statement. So when you don't go 4 years in a row, I think everybody that's a part of our program, from the coaching staff, to the players that have been here before, and also the newcomers, you're hungry to get back to that and do something that hasn't been done here in 4 years. So I think that motivation started a long time ago and really continues to be our motivation.
Guys are one of the top teams to watch in college basketball. So you're sixth scoring at 83.8 points per game, 6th nationally. And then you shoot 50.2% from the floor, which is 3rd in college hoops. How do you manufacture the consistency of such an offensive attack?
Well, it always starts with the players. You have to have talented players. And in our case, we not only got a good group of talent, but they're experienced as well. We're not a young team. Our backcourt, Sule Boom and Adam Kunkel, this is their 5th year in college. Colby Jones is a 3-year starter. And then Zach Fremantle and Jack Nunge are, in their 4th and 5th years respectively. So I think we combine a good group talent-wise, but also that experience. And, a week ago we lost Zach Fremantle for about, I think, a month. And my hope is we'll get him back here down the stretch of our season. But he was averaging, in and around 17 points per game in the Big East Conference. So now we're learning to play without him. Jerome Hunter, who's been a valuable member of our team, was our 6th man. He's now starting. And we're really trying to almost recreate, what we do moving forward. So, I give the players credit. And, I think the style that we elect to play is one that we like to push the pace, play at an up-tempo style. And then once we're in the half court, we want to move the ball and share it. And our guys have really done a great job doing that.
Your last 2 games, you had a 25-point win over St. John's on Saturday. It followed a tightly contested 85-83 win over Providence. Jack Nunge led 3 Musketeers with at least 20 points in the win over Providence, and then he led 5 players in double figures with the win over St. John's. Talk about Jack as a leading scorer. I know he's got really good size in there. He looks like he has a myriad of moves.
Yes, Jack is experienced. He's a fantastic young man. I mean, a great student, a great person, has all the characteristics that you look for in a leader. He leads by example. He's not somebody that is boisterous or loud or a rah-rah guy. He just does his job, shows up every day, is very unselfish. And, I don't know if there's a program in America that wouldn't love to have Jack Nunge as part of their team. He's won the Big East Player of the Week award this year twice. And that's not easy to do, especially with the great players and teams that we have in our conference. But Jack is right at 7 feet. He can shoot the 3. He's shooting over 40% from the 3-point line. He's got great hands, smart. He's a good rebounder. And I really believe he's improved quite a bit defensively as our season has gone on. But, he's as good of a front court player, especially on offense, as there is in college basketball. His numbers that you alluded to speak to that. And my hope is that he stays healthy, and we really are going to try to ride him and bring out the best in him down the home stretch of our regular season.
Yeah, your leading scorer is Sule Boom. He started at San Francisco for a season. He was at UTEP for 3. He shoots at a high percentage across the boards, and it looks like his percentages have gone up here in his 5th year of college basketball with the Musketeers. What makes him such a consummate scorer who generally plays in the mid-30s in minutes, throughout his career?
Yeah, Sule, like Jack Nungy, almost ditto, except Jack is our center and Sule is our point guard. But what makes Sule such a great player on the court is he's an amazing kid. Works really hard, loves the game. Though he's our leading scorer, he doesn't hunt shots. He plays to win. His assist to turnover ratio in the Big East right now is close to 6-1, almost 7-1, which is incredible when you consider the minutes that he plays, the pace that our team plays at, and then obviously the competition of the Big East Conference. I think that says a lot about Sule's future. Yesterday, he was named as one of 10 finalists for the Bob Cousy Award, and I believe that that's very well earned for him to be in that elite company. He's also a great free throw shooter. We've won quite a few close games in the months of December and January, and I believe we're going to be in many more close games. But at the end of games, he not only gets to the foul line, but he converts. He shoots right below 90% from the free throw line. So, we brought Sule in with us when I was named the head coach in March last spring. He's the one guy that we brought in from the transfer portal, and he's been a godsend for our team. And again, like I said about Jack Nungy, my hope is that he can stay healthy and play his best basketball here down the stretch.
You mentioned that Jerome had been working well in the lineup there with Zach Fremantle injured. Those 3 guys, including Jack Nungy, how do you configure your matchups when they're all healthy versus opponents? In other words, what are the best things out of the 3 big men that you can use depending on your matchup?
Well, Jerome Hunter is very athletic, plays with amazing energy and effort. He's one of our team's best defensive players. And as he's on the court more, I think that on that side of the ball, my hope is that maybe we could hit our stride, get more stops, and play better defense than we have. We're not a bad defensive team, but I'd say we're very average. We could be better. We've really won a lot of our games because of our high-powered scoring and offense. Colby Jones is also a terrific player on our team. And Colby is a junior. He's a 3-year starter. He's a preseason all Big East performer, and I believe he's having that type of season where he'll be an all Big East player. But Colby Jones and Jerome Hunter, 2 very good defensive players, 2-way guys. And, I think those 2 guys really give us a lot of flexibility when it comes to who we match up against.
What makes Colby and Jerome play so well on the defensive end of the floor?
Well, they got great size, respectively. Jerome's 6'8", quick, long arms, competes, is very physical. Colby, ditto for him. Colby's about 6'6". Again, more of a perimeter player, but a guy that can match up on a smaller guard or even play a guy like Bryce Hopkins from Providence. So they're very versatile in what they bring to the table. We also have a freshman, Desmond Claude, who right now is our 6th man, and he's continued to play from game 1 all the way till now. He's given us some great minutes off the bench. And Des, like Colby and Jerome, I think has a big upside defensively. And I think it's those 3 guys, that were really not only on the offensive end, but defense as well.
Colby lately on offense, he's averaging 18.4 points over the last 5 games. What's changed maybe for him offensively to put him, at a higher points per game average?
Well, we lost to Zach Fremantle, so Zach played in and around 30 minutes a game. And like I mentioned, he's a very efficient offensive player. I think Zach shot in the mid 50s from the field. And really, although he didn't shoot a lot of 3-point shots, you can see that, he started to make about one a game in the Big East Conference, and he averaged 16 points. So, I think when you lose a player of that caliber, you're going to ask those that start and play alongside Zach maybe to do more. Colby's a big candidate for that. I think you'll see that he'll shoot the ball more, and we're going to ask him to score a little bit more than he did when Zach played. Colby's still a 14 points per game scorer, but now without Zach, I could see where we can ask him to try to score more.
Adam Kunkel starts generally at a 2, and he seems to really be one of the best communicators on the floor, regardless of the matchup. We were talking about Desmond. He has 19.1 minutes per game as a freshman. How do these players add to the myriad of your attack?
Yeah, Desmond is 6'5". He point position when Sule Boom is out of the game. His future's at that position. However, because of his size, we kind of put him in the game a lot of combinations. He could play the 2. He could play the big wing spot that Colby Jones plays. So the good news for Dez is in our team that, he's very versatile. There's not really a group that he can't come in the game and help contribute with. So, and I would say that, talking about Adam Kunkel, it's his experience. Although he doesn't play the point guard position, when you look at his assist and his assist turnover, he really makes a lot of things go. He's capable of having a big night from the 3-point line. He's done that in several games. So, he's kind of I'd say he's your prototypical combination guard, but it's somebody who's a lethal 3-point shooter, but also has the ball handling capability to make others better. He's having a very good year as well. Virtually started almost every game that we've played.
Coach, you played at Pitt, who was in the Big East, and now you're the head coach at Xavier. Discuss that idea or feeling for you that you played and coached at one of the best conferences in the history of the game.
Yeah, I played in the Big East Conference from 1987 through 1992, and I call that like the old Big East. Different teams were in the league then. Syracuse and the Carrier Dome, and Pitt, where I played, we were in it. Every team, I believe, had virtually a Hall of Fame coach leading them. PJ Carlissimo at Seton Hall. When I played, they went and played in the national championship game against Michigan and lost. But that shows you where their program was. Remember a guy named Andrew Gaze, Ramon Ramos, Mark Bryant. St. John's at Louis Carnesecca, a great team. Malik Sealy, Jason Williams played against me. Jim Calhoun was just starting off at UConn, but their all-time leading scorer, Chris Smith, Tate George, those guys, Cliff Robinson when I was a freshman. And I'm just getting started. You go to Georgetown, you had, John Thompson as the coach. Alonzo Mourning and Dikembe Mutombo were both on their team. So anybody that played in the era that I just described in the Big East has a tremendous amount of pride in that we feel like we played in one of the great conferences ever. And so for me, that's what I think of. I can remember it like it was yesterday. And now to have the opportunity to return back to that same conference and participate in the Big East tournament in Madison Square Garden every March, it's really a special time. I'm grateful for the opportunity, and I'm at a place here, Xavier University, that not only that I love, but I have experience from my 8-year stint here before. So we're looking forward to a bright future. So far, so good this year. we have to finish it off without Zach Fremantle. And then hopefully we'll get Zach back at a crucial time for us. But really proud of a lot of things we've done this year. And in particular, if you look at our non-conference schedule, and then you pair that up with the Big East Conference, we clearly have played one of America's most difficult schedules from start to finish. I mean, we've played Indiana, Gonzaga, Florida, Duke, West Virginia, Cincinnati, and then all the different teams we experience here in the Big East Conference. So I do think we deserve a lot of credit for that. I love our team, and we just have to stay healthy and keep getting better. And my hope is we can get a little bit better here down the home stretch on defense to complement what we've done offensively.
Coach Sean Miller, ladies and gentlemen, the Xavier Musketeers, one of the best in the business. Watch his team play. They're very exciting, up-tempo, and they got a few shooters like I used to be. Thanks, Coach.
All right. Very much. Thank you very much for having me on. I enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah. Thank